Hello, it is 11/11/2021, so it is Veterans Day. Thank you to all our veterans out there who have served, by the way. Very grateful. I worked with veterans for a few years at Maine Veteran Services and at a cemetery and at the Veteran Cemetery, and it was amazing working with such a group of people. So thank you, for starters, for all who have served. The nice thing on top of that is we have Veterans Day off. So I have spent a good portion of the day editing my videos, which, holy cow, what a pain in the ass. Like, it takes forever to edit these videos and to download them and to keep them straight. Like, I've made so many of them and I didn't really have a good system at saving them. So, having to relive some of these. It's funny because I started about a year ago. So I guess I started in like September of 2020, basically. And I haven't really made a whole lot of a dent in the whole thing, but to all of those YouTube creators out there, yeah, that's a lot of work. I can see that it's no easy feat. So cheers to the other YouTube creators. And I wanted to talk a little today about, I said the other day about going through menopause and how difficult it is and how uncomfortable it is and the hot flashes and oh my God. It's funny because I used to be so cold all the time and winter was just horrible, and now I find myself in the office turning the fan on, having hot flashes, but then I'm cold again, so it is crazy. And so I'm drinking you can see how green it is. It's matcha green tea. For a lot of reasons, it's supposed to help. It's supposed to help with cramps. It's supposed to help with, it has a lot of antioxidants and it's good for your liver and good to fight off cancer. And I think I already went through the list, but it's supposed to be really good for you. But it's also supposed to suppress your appetite and help you lose the belly weight that you gain when you go through menopause. And it's been a few days and I don't see that it suppresses my appetite. I honestly think it makes me hungrier. Or maybe I just thought it would suppress my appetite and subconsciously I feel hungrier. I don't know. Whatever it is, I feel like I'm eating more. So I don't know how well this is gonna work. It tastes pretty good. It smells funky to me, so I have a hard time with that. But right now I'm just drinking it hot with some agave because I need some sweetness in it. It's quite bitter. And I think I mentioned before, it just kind of tastes like grass or whatever that tastes like, but you know what I mean. It doesn't have the best taste in the world. And yesterday I mixed it with soy milk, and so it was kind of like a milky drink. I just shook it up with ice, and by the end of the day it got warm, and I don't know, it just tasted gross to me. So we'll see. I'm hoping it's an acquired taste and I can keep it up. I probably don't drink enough of it, but I'm drinking it right now. And the one thing I just wanted to talk a little bit about today is I uploaded my first video about mental illness, which is very nerve-wracking, and I did it late last night. Nobody's looked at it. I sent it to my mother to watch, and I sent it to her dad to watch, but I haven't heard anything. It's just a short clip of basically the stigma surrounding mental illness, and I just kind of wanted to put my foot in the water. So it doesn't have me talking in it. It's just a video I made, and I don't know how it will be responded to. I don't know why I am scared to death to post videos about this whole thing. I don't know how they'll be received. I guess it's scary to think that anybody can watch them, but I want people to be able to watch them because I really want to educate people on the day in the life of living with this. I can start uploading them. And then the thumbnails, my goodness, it took me like a whole night to just figure out how to make, I know how to make a thumbnail, but I want it to look good. And it's like, there's a lot to this. This could be like a full-time job. And yeah, I don't know who the heck has time for that. But today I spoke to the social worker, and I'm feeling frustrated with this friggin' insurance company that I talked about the other day. It's through her stepmom's nurse, and it's through her insurance, and it's AdventHealth, and they are this, I think it's a Christian or Catholic or something. It doesn't matter what they're affiliated with, but what does matter is they're acting like assholes, because it really infuriates me. They do not want to pay for her stay. We have never had this problem in the years that we've dealt with this. We've had more than one insurance and never have had this problem until this AdventHealth. And I'm quite sure it's because they want her in one of their Florida facilities, or she's getting care here and it's not through one of their facilities, and it's gonna cost them a lot of money. But that's what insurance is for. So it really, like, it burns me. It burns me. I want to call this place up, and there's nothing I can do. It's not even my insurance coverage. So I really have to depend on her dad to deal with this one. But anyway, they will not cover for her stay into the state hospital. It took the hospital she's at now fighting with them to keep her for one more week at this hospital. And that's after they sent the court paperwork and everything. So they saw that a judge court ordered her to go to the state hospital, and they still won't cover it, which, man, that burns me, because we have come so far to get to this place, and now that we're here, it's like, what? This is what we have to deal with? Now, I feel really fortunate that we've had insurance to cover all this other stuff, like really fortunate, very grateful for that. Thank God for insurance in that regard. I know insurance fails so many, but it has helped us or her enormously. So I am so grateful. So thank you for Anthem and the insurance agencies that actually did what they were supposed to do. But this one, so I really have had to try to get her father to take some action, or his wife. I understand they're probably really exhausted and don't want to deal with this. I totally get it. But again, I don't feel like we came this far for nothing, and something needs to be done. So her dad assures me he will. He's going to fight it. And when he puts his mind to something, let me tell you, when he fights, like, I have no doubts. I just have to keep him motivated to do so. Through this whole broken system, this whole process, like, it's bad enough you've got somebody who's struggling, but then all of fighting this red tape, and it just doesn't feel like anything smooth. It feels like you really have to fight for everything, and it's really frustrating. So it felt like a leap forward to take. We're getting pushed back, and that's what it is. It's a push and pull. So I stick to my guns of staying positive, of hoping for the best. I'm sharing my frustration here, but then I'm going to let it go, because I'm not going to let this consume me. We didn't come this far to start over. So I know the right thing's going to happen. It's just one more process in getting there, right? When these things happen, try not to let yourself get down. We have enough things that get us down. We don't need this crap. So just let it go, and just know there's always going to be bumps in the road. But then once you get over those hurdles, man, does it feel good to get over the hurdle. So just look forward to that feeling of relief when something good does happen. Yeah, so I guess that's my motto for today. Thanks for listening, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from me again very soon. Oh, I think I'm going to give her a call, actually. I might call her right now. Of course, the last time I spoke to her was the day she went to court and found out she was going to the state hospital. So she wasn't happy, but she was talking to me, and I feel like I should reach out to her, because I feel like she pushes me away, but she kind of wants me to reach out to her. even though she pushes me away. And I think I'm learning that, and I think that's a good learning lesson, is it's okay. You can call, at least let them know you've called, and if they don't want to talk to you, that's okay. So, and it's a pain in the butt to try to get through over there, but whatever, it's worth it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call her. At least tell them to give her a message that I called, so she knows that I'm thinking of her. And hey, if I do talk to her and anything significant happens, I'll certainly check in and let you know. All right, happy Veterans Day, and I'll be back. Good morning, everybody. Friday after a holiday, so we didn't have to work yesterday for Veterans Day, and so I'm sort of expecting not a whole lot of people to be at the office, because most people took Friday off to have a long weekend, and I probably should have done the same, but I didn't. Last night I called her at the hospital and I had to leave a message. They said she was in the shower, and I asked them to let her know that I called. She never did call back, which I didn't really think she would, because she doesn't like talking to me that much. But like I mentioned, I was gonna call just so that she knew that I was reaching out. Even if she doesn't want to talk to me, I think it does mean something for her to know that I'm reaching out, because she's made one too many statements saying that we don't even try to reach out. And I honestly didn't, because there was no point. She didn't want to talk to me, and I felt like I was harassing her. She'll tell me, in one breath, she'll tell me she's putting a restraining order out against me because I'm harassing her. But then in another breath, she'll tell me I never try to reach out to her. So kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I spoke to my mom last night, and that's always very tough, because I know she's struggling probably as much close to what I am struggling. I can hear it in her voice. It not only does it pain her because she loves her granddaughter more than anything, but I know that it pains her that watching me go through it too. My mom's just amazing, and she's been so supportive. But I've sort of hardened up. I feel like I've hardened up. My responses, or maybe I trust more, I don't know. I try not to react about things quite to that emotional level that she does. I mean, well, sometimes I do, obviously, but for example, this insurance not covering the hospital, she was really, like, she doesn't get mad that easy, and she was irate. It bothered her a lot, and it bothers me a lot too. But she's just, it was sometimes it's tough supporting somebody else's emotions when you're feeling it too. But yeah, she also told me that she always spends Halloween and a few weeks with my sister and her kids, and she said that they had talked about how strong they felt I was and how much stronger I've become, and it was really sweet that they're seeing that growth in me. She said they're both very proud, and that makes me feel good. I adore my family. I'm very, very fortunate to have such a loving family, and I know I've talked before about feeling like they've cut me off sometimes, or cut her off sometimes, and it's hurt my feelings. But my sister actually is really good. I think she has tried to educate herself. She is a teacher, and I think she works with a lot of kids that go through this, so it gives them something to connect with. So she talks a little bit about this, not my daughter in particular, but I think she talks about mental health with her classroom sometimes, and it gives them something that they can relate to, because I think everybody can kind of relate to this. So a lot of kids in her class will talk about they have family members, or they've gone through this broken system that we're dealing with. And it really makes me feel good that she's educating herself on this and talking about it, because I just think it's very important to do so. I've got to run in, but I had a bunch of things I kind of wanted to talk about, but I'll hop on later on my break. Good afternoon. Holy moly, it is a crappy day. Otherwise, it's just really windy and rainy. It just feels like one of those days where like everything, like stupid little things go wrong. Just like I'm dropping things or I can't find things, just like little things, nothing major. But it is what it is. Regarding the insurance debacle, I've been in touch with her dad and her dad's wife, and I had his wife get a letter from her past employer saying that the insurance has run out, because the only way I can get her put on my insurance is if there was a life event, a major life event such as that. So I can try to get her on my insurance by giving them the letter that her other insurance ran out. And we'll see. So now she's on an interim insurance, which I don't think I really need to bring up. I mean, if they ask, I'm not going to lie, because we're not in Florida. They're not accepting her. They're not allowing her to get treatment outside of Florida. So to me, that's a case in itself. Anyway, it's just a process, because I have to fill out paperwork. I have to show, I'm supposed to give her birth certificate so that they can prove that it's my daughter, but I don't have her birth certificate. She has her birth certificate. There's no way she'd give it to me. And I do, but I have the court paperwork that I have guardianship, so I'm hoping that will work. But I had to look for it, and for some reason I couldn't find it. But finally I did, thankfully. So there's that. So hopefully we can get that figured out. But even so, by the time, let's just say everything goes smoothly and they let her go on my insurance, it's not going to kick in until December. So it's really not going to help with the problem we're faced right now. But it will help for future problems. I also spoke to her dad about a medication change that her psychiatrist suggested. So he suggested she go back on her ADHD medication. And I've got to tell you, this is because I told him about her nonverbal learning disability, which she does not admit to, but he thought that made a whole lot of sense. So when I told him about that diagnosis, he was like, I feel like he's looking at this totally different. Like, oh, because if you have nonverbal learning disability, you don't understand consequence. For some reason, the brain does not configure in consequence, which is why she probably continues to use the marijuana. And he said the same thing. He was like, oh, that makes sense. And he said with that diagnosis, also her ADHD medication may help. So I'm really glad that I brought up the nonverbal, even though I feel like I'm the only one that recognizes it. I actually found that diagnosis paperwork, and I think I'm going to send it to him so that he can see that that is what she was diagnosed with. It really makes me happy that he is taking this stuff seriously, and her dad and I both agreed, yeah, put her back on it. If that might help, we say go for it. So that's where I just spend my afternoon, is getting some of this paperwork figured out on top of the job that I'm doing at work. I think I've got a busy afternoon ahead of me, but that's okay. All right, just wanted to catch everyone up.